Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle Boudreau, February Rose. Today I thought we could do something a little fun where we can do some sort of intuitive drawings and paintings where you don't really have to think so much. This is something that I do when I just sort of want to get ideas out of my head and onto paper, and I don't really care if it comes out pretty. I don't think too much about it. It's very soothing, and I just go with the flow. So I have this Zinnia here that I did. I have this Lily of the Valley, and then today we're going to do this Zinnia painting, and it's sort of just using colored pencils and watercolor or whatever items that you have, whether it be pens, a micron pen, acrylic markers, whatever you want. There are no rules, and that's kind of the point of these fun and quick intuitive paintings and drawings. So let's get into it. So I have this sketchbook, and it's not even for watercolor. I think it's more for sketching, but it doesn't really matter because the point of this isn't for perfection. It's really just, just to get those ideas out and just have fun and just go along with it. You don't really have to think too much. I think we should do some zinnias because I had posted this on my Instagram and everyone seemed to really like it. And I'm in a zinnia kick right now. So I'm gonna show you how I kind of do this. And it's not really like rocket science or anything, but it's just a nice way to create something when you just don't really know what you wanna paint, and you wanna do something, you wanna be creative, or you just wanna clear your mind. And I have the Lily of the Valley. I just like to sketch it out and just like play with different ideas that this might turn into a new print for me. This is really just getting the ideas out onto paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I usually take a colored pencil and I kind of sketch out. Sometimes I'll actually go in with watercolor first. Like for the zinnias, the flower part, I'll probably just go in with watercolor, but you can just use pencil if you want to sketch. But so I'm not really thinking too much what that exact flower looks like. I know it has a stem and I've studied their leaves, so they're like bigger like this, and I'm not going for perfection. This one might be more in the front, this one might be more in the back, and then maybe it's like coming from the ground like this. And then maybe there's another one in the background because they usually do grow all together. And maybe another one right here. This will be more in the front. And yeah, this is not, again, I'm just gonna keep reiterating, not perfect, not pretty or anything like that. This is literally just brain dumping. And so now I'm just gonna go in to some of my watercolors and I'm just gonna literally do some blobs. So I definitely wanted to do like an orange one. So I'm just literally putting that down on paper. And I love in this stage to be able to sort of drop different colors in there, because we will go over this and define the petals a little more. And again, this isn't like your best watercolor paper. If you have watercolor paper or a sketchbook for watercolor paper, that is fine. This is literally just what I have, so I'm just using it. And this one I think I want to be a little pink. I love this pink here. Some brighter colors. And the centers usually do have some yellow. They have those little yellow flowers, so I will pull that out while it's wet. Some of them actually have a neon green color. My friend grows these zinnias and she sends me pictures, and I just can't believe how beautiful they can be. Like so many different variations. And then, sometimes we'll do something, I'll do a little peachy, sort of peachy color. And I'll link all of this in the details below. But again, I'm just literally making like circle shapes These are more like ovally oblong, like they're not perfect. And it's okay if you get over. I think I want to do some sort of in the background where they're going to be in the distance. And then maybe, yeah, that one, I'll probably go over that. Maybe I'll do like a brighter one. Do I want to do one there? Yeah, why not? Just a brighter one. Right like that. And I do want these to dry fairly quickly, so I'm going to pull up some of that color. Drop a little more in there, just because I want them to be fun. I want them to be fun colors. Put some more. A little bit more variation in there. And now while those dry, I think I'm just gonna go into some of my green over here. And I really don't care what colors I'm using. I'll try to sort of stay in the colors that I know that these tend to be, but there are really no rules. And I'm sort of just quickly sketching. I'm filling in where I want, and I really do like the messy look of it. I'm actually a pencil artist, and I did hyper-realistic pencil portraits. And coming from that to watercolor has been one of the most just freeing things. It's just so easy and fun. But so sometimes I will do the watercolor first, and then I'll go in with my pencil. So over here we'll do that. So I know that this is gonna go behind. And yeah, these are good for studies. So this one will cover that one. And then, you know, there'll be more leaves on these in the background, maybe some in the front. This one is gonna have a little shadow. Sometimes the messier the better for this sort of, because you kind of feel free just being able to like make a mess and not care and not really have like strict guidelines, because like we know that this might not be exactly how it looks, but we don't care. Okay. It's fun. Okay. And then some of these should be dry, but you can wait and you can come back when they're fully dry. But the point of these for me is really to just kind of work a little quicker. So I'm just going to keep adding maybe some darker color into my leaves while that dries a little more. Just let the brush sort of dance around the paper. And yeah, some people might comment and be like, that's ugly. But guess what? I don't care. I really don't care. I feel like you should create let's see. This one looks pretty good. Yes. So I'm gonna go in with a yellowy color for these centers here. And it's already there, but I'm just gonna sort of try not to get my hand wet, but sort of pull out some of those shapes. So they're more like little flowers, but here we're not doing exact flowers. And then we know sometimes in the center it'll be a little bit darker. A good website that I like to use for references, for flower references, is unsplash.com. It's like a really good site to get some reference photos. So zinnias have layers and layers of petals, and these top ones, we're sort of looking at them. So they're kind of on the side like this and sort of up. And then as they go down, they'll start to get longer. and just going around in a circle. And then you can even change the colors up, like, so this is the bottom petal, maybe I want to fill that in. Maybe put some of that in there, and then you still have that base in the background for your actual color. Yeah, maybe you'll see. I think I want to do maybe like a little bit of a hot pink on this one. So we'll go around, put some yellow in there. Then I'm just gonna do sort of these little flower shapes, and then as they go down, make them a little bit bigger. Layers. Same here. Do a little bit in the center. Do some orange. Yellow. Guess we'll do a little bit of orange for this one. Now this one I'm kind of looking a little bit more down at it, I guess. But you see how I'm making the petals sort of lapping over, and you can definitely go more detailed with this if you want. This style is definitely buildable. You can do so many things. But say you want to put a little bit more like shadow in there, you can do that. Or you can do some lines, or just change the layers, the layer colors. This one's dry enough. Do it like this first. And these back petals you won't really see. And then some are like really small, but I'm not going center. I think this one I'm gonna do a mix. So let's do, what color is this? Cadmium yellow, lemon. It looks more like green to me, but I'm just gonna put that in the center. You can't really see that. Put some yellow. And again, these would be like little flowers all around if you want to go ahead and do that. I think I'll start with like a darker pink up here. Again, you're gonna see these petals sort of on the side. And even some, maybe you'll see them from the back like this, depending on how you're looking down at them. And then as you go down, you'll just keep layering. And they're sort of rounded. They're a little bit square here. You can always fix that. I'm gonna use this darker pink. And I'll go just below that. Because why not? Maybe this one's going out a little. And put some of this pink. And put this pink in the center. And do this dark orange. This one's gonna have longer petals from the get. You could just keep doing this, like, so, all day I could do this. It gets a little bit addicting, actually, because again, like, there's no like guideline to be perfect, and it's more about play and experimentation. And look how fast. We're just sort of like overlapping, like staggering almost in some spots. And then I'll like maybe pull out some of those flowers in this shape because we have the yellow in the background. So yeah, that's an option. See, I just came up with that now. It's not really rocket science, but it's kind of like, oh, I could do that. I wish I had like a deeper yellow out, but we'll just do the orange. And if you don't have colored pencils, you can use those micron pens, you know, the black ones, and that will give you a really cool graphic sort of outline style. Let's see if I have one over here. I really like the little lines. And if you want, you could leave the bottoms open. I'm not going to. Actually, I want to put some pink here where there's some pink. Make this like a variegated. And again, do these exist in real life, these variegations? I don't know. I really don't know, but I don't care. Because this is just what's in my brain. I want one to go out a little. And that one's going up. Cool. See how fun? And then I will just go back in either with, we could use a darker green and we can just define those leaves. And those stems. And this is where you could really find, oh, I missed this one in the back. So this one's kind of in the distance, so I'm just gonna give it like the idea of having petals, right? I'm gonna go over this one. And you don't have to do each one. You can leave some. But I really like this dark contrast. And maybe this one's folding. I'm gonna put shadows in here. You could do that by adding more watercolor if you want to do lines. This is going to really pull that piece together so it's not all like a blob. And I jump around when I'm painting and drawing, so you can do this a little bit more organized for sure. And maybe go lighter hand. Maybe I'll do some green on one of the, like lighter green. Just press as hard as you want. This one is a little lighter. I did a little bit of lightness to this one, and I did more colors in here, playing around with more of these green and yellows. This one's a little bit more dark. So if you want to go in and add those marks, like I love mark making. It's just so carefree. But yeah, you can really go overboard and it doesn't matter, you know, because this is yours. It's for your mental health. It's just to get things out on paper. But how cool is that? Like, I don't know what this is over here, but it is. Anyways, this is how I sort of get some ideas out, plan things. Like this one, like I said, I'm probably going to go back into this and make this more defined and into a print of some sort, or do a more detailed version of this. But now I have the idea out on paper, how I want it to be situated. Like I want it to be sort of sitting inside of those leaves. So to make it more realistic, I will do more studies and see like, okay, do these types of leaves actually droop like this in real nature? And I will create something a little bit more realistic out of this. Or I just feel like painting or doing something, I'm having a bad day and I just feel like sketching mindlessly. So that is what I do a lot of these for. And it's not having any pressure. We're just building and experimenting and having fun. See how I'm like defining that shape because these are white. So, and this is also a nice way to sort of use some supplies that you might have. So I have these markers. So let's just see like what we can get out of this. So I can go over, and again, these are oil based, so they're not always going to work with each other, but this is a way to sort of experiment. So you can fill in some spots or pull out some spots. And I don't know where the orange in this came from, like using orange in leaves. I'm just doing it because I can. Just really fun. Now I guess I am going a little overboard, but I'm just sort of trying to show you all the different ways that you can play. I don't know where my micron pen is. It's probably in my other office. Okay, here we go. We've got some micron pens. I can do it while it's on here, but if you don't have colored pencils, you can go in and use that sort of black pen to give you that graphic look. It's so easy. Same concept. And if you can mix them all together if you want. So let's see, I'll just go around and do the same thing. See, you have to experiment to know what you like and what you don't like. For me, this isn't the look I'm particularly going for, but this is my sketchbook. So whatever. You can do like really detailed lines with this. But yeah, see? And then if you want, you can use this to really pull out some flowers in the actual plant, because they always have these little flowers that go around the center. So I don't want to do it on it anymore. But yeah, so many different ways to have fun, so many ways to free your mind, to just go with the flow, experiment. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you give it a try, and it's really nice to have a sketchbook. I think I'm actually going to invest in a watercolor sketchbook. It might be nicer to have paper that doesn't buckle up when I'm experimenting. But yeah. And we did it. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you give it a try, because it is really so relaxing. Whether you're just like suffering from mental burnout or artistic burnout, or you just feel like creating but you don't really want to think, this is like the perfect exercise that you can do to kind of get yourself going. And also, it's really fun to do this before you start maybe a more in-depth painting or drawing or whatever art practice that you do, because you kind of warm up, you get into your flow, and your state of mind is just like so much more clearer. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you learned something, and if you did enjoy, I really would appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to my channel, and I will see you next time.